Hello there. You're very welcome to our business presentation on Synergy Worldwide, which is an elite health company. Today I'm going to share some very important life-changing information with you. Firstly, I will be sharing some secrets on how people are taking far more control of their health and wellness and bringing themselves to a much higher level of health, even up to elite health if desired, regardless of their current health status. Secondly, I will be sharing with you how we are able to extract a passive income from being in possession of this information without the need to retail anything. Yes, zero retail. About 95% of the population has no interest in sales and in fact would run a mile from anything to do with sales. So we have devised a system to generate income without any sales. So let's get started. Synergy Worldwide was founded back in 1999 by a man called Dan Higginson, who's very much involved today still. But in the year 2000, he decided that he would sell his company to Nature Sunshine Products after 6 times being asked by them. Now, Nature Sunshine Products is recognized as being the leader in the area of health and wellness and they have been leading the way in research, product development and testing since 1972. We're publicly traded on the NASDAQ stock exchange, which means everything's very transparent. And Forbes magazine also featured us in the top 100 most trustworthy and ethical companies in the USA. This was a big deal because we're the only network marketing company that has ever made it onto this list. We have our own medical and scientific advisory board. This would consist of top experts in the area of health and nutrition, and they collaborate together to find solutions for the body's needs. They then pass on to the Hughes Center for Research and Innovation. This is our research facility to do clinical testings on people to validate the results of what we produce. And we can guarantee the quality because we're in complete control from raw ingredient to end product, with over 650 testings done throughout the entire manufacturing process to make sure there are no traces of herbicides, insecticides, genetically modified crops, or any heavy metals that shouldn't be there. And we use the tagline, "We don't guess, we test." The production facility is also Good Manufacturing Practices Certified and National Scientific Foundation Certified. So this is the highest certification that we can have within our industry. The problem today is we have an issue with the lack of nutrition that is going into our systems. So the health challenges are becoming more prevalent. People are getting sicker and sicker at a younger and younger age. 1 person in 2 is at risk of death from heart attack and stroke. Diabetes is at epidemic levels. And the reason for these challenges are because we have mass producing food, the same crops growing on the same soil. And when you just put fertilizer on the soil to force up the crops, you're putting approximately 3 different ingredients into that, which is nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. You need approximately 55 different ingredients that should be in that soil to go into the crops to then go into us. So what has happened is we are ending up eating fast food, we're eating processed food, but we are eating empty food. So if the nutrition is not there, our bodies cannot repair themselves and replace themselves, which is what they are designed to do. And hence the sickness at earlier and earlier ages. To put this into perspective, you can see a plate of salad on the screen. And if somebody was to eat that plate of salad 50 years ago, the question is, how many plates of salad would one need to eat today to get the same nutritional value? Well, the answer is an astonishing 47 plates of salad. That's how much somebody would need to sit down and eat today to get the same nutrition as somebody eating that plate 50 years ago. And that's obviously not going to happen. Let's put another little meat on the bones. And this is a survey done by the Swiss government on the decrease of vitamins and minerals in fruits and vegetables from 1985 to 2002. So this is only a 17-year period, and we've gone another 17 years since that. So if you look at the milligrams per 100 grams on, say, broccoli on the left-hand side, you have the calcium, the folic acid, and the magnesium drop is 73%, 62%, and 55%. The magnesium, the calcium drop in a potato is down 78%. The magnesium drop is 48%. The magnesium drop in a carrot is 75%. The vitamin C drop in a strawberry is 87%. And if you ate a banana expecting to get vitamin B6, it is a 95% drop in that period of time. So the problem is very, very serious. And what's happening is we're eating food expecting it to nourish us. But the chances are it's costing us more to actually digest that food and expel that food than what it is giving our bodies. And hence, this is the problem. So we like to show people what the problem is before we show them the solution. So let's move on to the solution. And this is what Synergy Worldwide has come up with. And we're going to start with the gut microbiome, one of the 4 key areas that we need to have correct. Now, the gut microbiome is being hugely researched at the minute, and more scientists are starting to understand more about the gut, and there's a lot of books been written about it. Synergy, about 4 years ago, had started down this road and started research in the Hughes Center for Research and Innovation, because they already realized that the gut has a huge part to play on people's health. So the gut is an ecosystem of about 100 trillion cells of bacteria, fungi, and microflora. And there is more neural activity in your gut than your brain, believe it or not. And there's a nerve called the vagus nerve that runs between the gut and the brain for messaging running up and down. There's about 200 different hormones that are manufactured in your gut. And for instance, serotonin, your happy hormone, 90% of that is manufactured in your gut. So all those jobs that the gut is doing, it's very much important that your gut is in the correct balance. Now, over a period of time, if you have overfed the bad bacteria and underfed the good bacteria, what happens is the bad bacteria becomes in control in your gut. That is not a good position to be in. I often equate that to, we'll say, a prison where you have prisoners and you also have prison officers. Now, the prison officers should be in control of the prison and everything will be fine. If the prisoners ever take control of the prison, that will be mayhem. For most people's guts and microbiome, the bad bacteria is in control, which has a negative effect on every system in the body. About 80% of your immune system is governed by your gut. So this is the first available microbiome purify kit on the market to address this problem. And it is the first week of a 3-month program where we are starving the bad bacteria and feeding the good bacteria. So at the back, you have a biome shake. This is a pea protein shake for replacing 2 meals a day for the first week. Your 3rd meal of the day must be microbiome friendly. Incidentally, all meals for the 3-month period after this must be microbiome friendly. On the left, you have Biome DT. This is a detox shake with things like inulin, psyllium husk, and it also has your greens. The purpose of this is to start cleansing the gut and releasing stuff from the colon that is probably stuck there for many years. On the front left, you have Body Prime. This is a magnesium supplement with apple pectin and prune powder. This is there to start help intestinal function, bowel function, and to supply the magnesium that most people is missing. On the front right, you have your probiotics. These are called Bacillus coagulans. The purpose of these are to start repopulating the gut with a good bacteria. There are also prebiotics in the Biome DT to feed the probiotics, and they are strong enough strain not to be bullied by the bacteria that is there. So you're continuing to starve the bad bacteria, feed the good bacteria, and put the good bacteria back in control. On the right-hand side, you have the flagship product, ProArginine Plus. I'll be explaining that in detail later, but this is there to start opening blood flow and keep the repair mechanism going on and for cleansing purposes. So that's the Purify kit, and this is the start of looking after your health. The Synergy has a range of products above and beyond that, which you can see there now. What I'm going to be concentrating on is the 3 on the left for a minute. This is called the Vital 3. So the first part we were looking at was the gut. Now we're going to look at the cardiovascular system, the immune system, and the body pH, and what part these play on health. They're called the Vital 3 because each of the 3 pieces are equally important and all need to be used. So I'm going to concentrate on the cardiovascular system to give you an understanding of that first. Proarginine Plus, as I say, is the flagship product of the company, and Proarginine Plus is what's called an arginine complexer. And the purpose of this arginine complexer is to feed the cardiovascular system so as it starts working on itself. In 1998, there was a Nobel Prize for Medicine for proving that nitric oxide gas is a signaling molecule in the cardiovascular system. And if we make a small amount of nitric oxide gas, we will have cardiovascular problems. If we make large amounts of nitric oxide, we will not. So when arginine goes in from our food sources, we make nitric oxide for about 1 to 3 seconds and then it's gone. When we take Proarginine Plus, we make nitric oxide for up to 48 hours. This is the difference. The book in the middle is called the Physician's Desk Reference. That's on every doctor's desk in the USA. And this has a natural section in it. And in that natural section, Proarginine Plus has been featured there for the last 5 years. And it states in there that Proarginine Plus is the highest quality arginine complexer available in the world. This is massive, massive credibility. In our arterial systems, we have approximately 100,000 miles of veins and arteries and capillaries. We have one pump called the heart, which is designed to pump that blood flow through the entire system. As we age, we are making less and less nitric oxide. In fact, in our 60s, we are only making 15% of the nitric oxide we were making in our 20s. And if we don't get enough arginine into our system and don't make enough nitric oxide, this can actually happen a lot sooner. So as our nitric oxide production isn't there, we clog up our arterial system. When we clog up our arterial system, blood flow cannot get through to where it needs to get through, to organs and such like. And the body's response is to ask the heart to raise the pressure to try and get the blood flow through. This cycle could continue for quite a while and somebody ends up with what's called hypertension, high blood pressure. Now, you can go on medication for that, which will tell your heart not to listen to your organs asking for extra blood supply and cut back down on pressure, but you haven't actually solved the problem. You are creating a bigger problem because now the organs will get less blood. So our solution is let's fuel the body with the missing food so as the body can make enough nitric oxide gas so it can start rectifying the problem and then in turn relax the arterial system, relax the pressure off the heart. So this is the food for the body to work on fixing its own cardiovascular system. Let me show you how powerful this is. And this is an 85-year-old gentleman that I was asked to meet who had a lot of cardiovascular issues, and he has given permission for this to be shown. So his first cardiovascular screening showed, if you can see on the bottom of the page, his blood pressure, brachial pressure was 167/95. That's a high pressure in anybody's book. If you look across a couple of steps on the right, you see a figure called CASP, which stands for Central Aortic Systolic Pressure. Now on the chart on the left-hand side, you can now see that the average pressure for a 70 to 80-year-old is 119 millimeters of mercury. I happen to know that the average for an 80 to 90-year-old is 122, but this man was working at 162, which is about 40 points above where he should be. And if you were to calculate down that chart, down the page, he is actually working at the average pressure of a 185-year-old person, which is not a good place to be. A couple of steps across from that on the bottom, you see RAI, which stands for Radial Augmentation Index, and it's like the flexibility of the arteries. And he's showing up at 107% stiffness, and at his age group, he should be only working around 85% stiffness. Now, here's the same gentleman's cardiovascular screening 90 days later using Proarginine, Mystify, and Vitalized. You can see his blood pressure has come back from 167/95 to 131/77. That's a very, very respectable blood pressure. His central aortic pressure has dropped back to 122. So he's come down 40 points. That means he has dropped 100 years in his heart pressure. His arterial stiffness is down from 107% stiffness down to 80% stiffness, which again is a huge improvement in his arterial system. So that's the kind of results that we see all the time. Everybody who gets proper fuel into their system is going to use that to repair. The next area we're going to look at is balancing the immune system. And we use a product called Mystify for that. Mystify is just simply live raw berries. And if you could go out and pick berries like the acai berry, bilberry, blueberry, goji berry, pomegranate, elderberry, cranberry, red raspberry, grapeseed extract, and green tea on a daily basis and consume it, that would be the ultimate. Not actually possible for everyone to do that. So the next best thing is to consume a product like Mystify. Mystify has all these berries live in that bottle. So when we consume that, it is the very next best thing to getting these off a tree and eating them on a daily basis. Every 30 mils of this that we put into our system is equivalent to eating 3.5 kilos of raw fruit from an antioxidant perspective. An antioxidant neutralizes free radicals. And at 30 mils twice a day, this is proven to reduce free radical damage by 43% in 3 weeks. So that has a huge impact on our health and wellness. Also, it is a natural anti-inflammatory and it's a natural pain suppressant. And this is also suitable and safe for children to use. So when we get this level of food into our system, we're also supplying a huge level of nutrition, but we're doing a balancing effect on the immune system. Some people have a weak immune system, and every virus that comes close, they catch it. And others have too strong an immune system where their immune system is attacking their body. So this has a balancing effect on that. The last part of the V3 is called Vitalized. Vitalized is just raw liquid greens. And what greens does in the body is they detox organs, they cleanse the blood, they balance the pH, plus provide nutrition. So if you are not getting your greens, those jobs are not happening. So you have greens in there like mulberry, alfalfa, barley grass, peppermint, and chlorophyllin. It's still live in the bottle, and every 10 mils of that is equivalent to eating a kilo of leafy green veg. Again, nobody's going to get that level of fuel into their body unless using something like this. And we would take this every time we have food. So that's the greens that should have been in that meal. We are now getting them. So I go to the fridge every time I've had a meal and I pour some Vitalized and I take it, and that's my greens sorted. The pH scale runs from 1 to 14. 7 is neutral. Anything below 7 is acidic. Anything above 7 is alkaline. The problem is 9 people out of 10, their bodies are in an acidic state. So in other words, there are far more acidic foods going into them than alkaline foods, and then puts their body into an acid state. There's 2 problems with doing that. First of all, when you're in an acidic state, you invite acid-based problems. They would be chronic pain, arthritis, osteoporosis, acid reflux, and cancer. They all thrive in an acidic environment, but do not like an alkaline one. Secondly, the pH of Vitalized is around 9, so that is alkaline. Secondly, when your body is acidic, in order to keep the blood at a pH of 7.365, it will take calcium from your bones, it will take magnesium from your muscles, it will donate that to the blood to keep the blood pH right, and then you end up with brittle bones and you end up with muscle cramp. So the body will prioritize keeping the blood pH right. So that's more problems that you are creating by not having the correct diet. So Vitalized solves that problem. There's a couple of more products that Synergy have, which I'll briefly explain. One of them is called SLM Smart. SLM stands for Slim, Lose, and Maintain. It's actually 3 different protein shake for 3 different time releases. And also there's enough vitamins and minerals in there to legally have it called a meal replacement. So there's 3 ways to use this. You can replace up to 2 meals a day if you want to lose weight. You can take it on top of your meals if you want to gain weight, or you can use it for muscle building after training. So they're the uses for that. Another product that Synergy has is called E9. E9 is an energy drink with a difference. The reason I say it's an energy drink with a difference is because there's only healthy ingredients in there. Most energy drinks are sort of sugar-based, and they give the body a half-hour lift and then a crash. But Synergy's E9 is made up of 9 amino acids and all your B vitamins. So it gives the body about a 3 or more hour lift and no crash. So it's suitable for somebody who wants an energy boost some part of the day. It's suitable for people who want extra mental clarity and focus, somebody doing exams, public speaking, whatever. It's also suitable for sports people. And incidentally, both E9 and Pro-Arginine are listed on the Cologne list of safe products for athletes. So that's also very important. Everything I've shown you is actually compliant with the list of ingredients for World Anti-Doping Agency for athletes. Synergy's Body Prime is the magnesium supplement that's in the Purify kit, but we would normally take that on a daily basis anyway. And 3 capsules a day gives you your recommended daily allowance of magnesium. As I said, most people are low on magnesium because 9 people out of 10 are acidic, and that magnesium has been taken from the muscles to give to the blood to keep the pH right. Also, a lot of people are taking in sugars in their food. They're taking in processed food with hidden sugars. And for every molecule of sugar you take into your system, you need 54 molecules of magnesium just to process the sugar. So Body Prime also has apple pectin and prune powder there. So that helps with intestinal function, it helps with bowel function, helps with muscle cramp. And if somebody's constipated, they can actually take more capsules than the 3 to relieve the problem and then cut back down to maintenance dosage. Last but not least, Synergy has a completely botanical skincare line. This is called True Loom, which is short for Truly Luminous. And it has no parabens, no petrochemicals, and no waxes. All ingredients in there are actually edible. And some of the unique points to it are, number 1, the moisturizer increases the skin hydration by 88% in 30 minutes and lasts for 24 hours. The brightening serum decreases the skin roughness by up to 26% in 28 days. The youth serum stimulates pro-collagen production by 144% and hyaluronic acid synthesis by 59%. Wrinkles reduced by 38% in 30 days, and the eye cream does the same. This skincare line is actually working down through all 3 layers of the skin and feeds the microbiome of the skin, which is the 2nd largest host of your microbiome. So they say that seeing is believing. So these are a number of people who actually took before and after pictures when they started Trulum. So this is Norma, and you can see her rosacea has hugely improved in the space of 1 month. You can see Becky there. You see she has pigment issues before. 2 months later, pigment issues are way reduced. You can see Angie there before and after, and that's only 21 days since from picture to picture. You can see the skin is tighter, it's brighter, and less blotchiness, less brown marks. And this is the other side of Angie's face. Again, the 21 days later, you can see the wrinkles much reduced. Mandy here, this is her eye area before and after 2 months. And then you have Martina. She had an adult acne issue all her life, and you can see how she has improved in a 3-month period. And the only makeup she is wearing in that second photograph is her mascara, because I asked her. And then you have my next door neighbor's mother in her 70s, and you can see how she has improved month 1 and month 2. So her wrinkles have pretty much halved, and the skin is brighter after that period of time. So that's what Synergy has to offer from a product perspective. And we access those products and we use them ourselves. And that's the range that they have at present.